Third sign, the bad pastor touches the sacred. What is the sacred for God? What are the sacred things to God? The soul of the person is sacred, and the bad pastor, he does not care about the person's soul. He does not care if the person will stumble, if they will scandalize, if the soul of the person will go to hell, if the person will leave the church because of the scandal. They don't care about the person's soul, which is the most sacred thing that there is, salvation. He touches the sacred. He touches the people's offerings. They touch the people's offerings. We have a text that also shows this. Many, they show this, but we will show the case of Eli's children. Eli was a priest who lived in the time of the prophet Samuel, and he had two sons. And these sons, they touched the offerings of the people for themselves. They took advantage of the offering. Look what the holy text says. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered a sacrifice, in other words, the people come to present their sacrifice to the temple, to the tabernacle, the children of the priest Eli will come with a three-pronged flesh hook in his hand while the meat was boiling. Then he would thrust it into the pan, or kettle, or cauldron, or pot, and the priest would take for himself all the flesh hook brought up. In other words, these children of Eli, they would steal from the people's offerings for themselves. They were bad priests. They were bad pastors. Like the bad pastors, they do, touching the sacred, touching for themselves. The man of God, he has the following understanding. The offering represents the life of the person. When you give your offering to God, when you place your tithe, your vows, your voluntary offerings on the altar, you offer your offerings to God, you are surrendering your life. Your life is expressed through it. So that is sacred because it is life. It's sacred. If the pastor touches that for their own benefit, for some objective that he's not authorized to do in the work of God, then he is touching the sacred. He is stealing the offering. He is touching on what belongs to God because the person gave to God. Then the pastor goes and touches it, and then they touch that which is sacred, the life that is represented by it, and the offering that is not his, but God's. And the offerings in the work of God have a very specific objective, quite clear, which is for the work of God, that there may be food in my house, that the work of God may be done. You will follow me. You can only follow me because of the offerings that allow this program, this production, to reach you. So the offering is sacred. And if someone touches the offering, they show that they have no fear. They don't believe in God. They are actually taking advantage of what belongs to God and the people. So if they do that, what happened to the priests, the sons of Eli? They died. There, when God said, to those who honor me, I will honor them, but those who despise me will be despised. And Eli, who knew about the situation with their children, did not rebuke them, did not correct them, but tolerated them. And when this happens in the universal church, some deviation of character, of conduct from the pastor in regards to the offering, the church does not tolerate it. We won't commit the same sin of Eli. We won't commit the same sin of Eli. We correct the pastor. We disconnect the pastor that shows infidelity, dishonesty if they touch the offering from the people. As we mentioned before, we had cases of pastors who were asking the members of the church, send me your tithe to me. Send me the receipt of your offering to me. Send me this or that. In the universal church, we don't do this. We as pastors, me as a bishop, the pastor of the church, we don't want to get involved in your personal life with God. Your offerings must be given out of your own free will. You're not forced. And you should not involve the pastor in regards to your offerings. So the best you might do is that you may give your offerings directly to the church's account. Not even go through the pastor, by nobody. If you can do that, it's way simpler, it's way cleaner, transparent, because your offerings go straight to the church. There's a financial body in the church that manage the payments, all the expenditures of the church, and that is done in a transparent, clean way, that if we are questioned, all will be able to know what the destination, the use of the offerings are. So it is better for you to do your offerings this way, and this is not up to me, it's not up to you, it's not up to anyone what so-and-so have given or what they didn't give. Your offerings is between you and God. Do straight between you and God. And if some pastors say, oh, you, ma'am, didn't give your tithe, you must do your sacrifice, you need to give to me. If some pastor wants to put the fork in the offerings, as the sons of Eli did, you must report them, because we don't have this custom. The pleasure of the man of God is to teach the person to honor God. And if they learn to honor God, this is our pleasure, because with that, the person learned the importance on putting God first in their lives, first place. So if you want to give your offering in the Universal Church, do it by the official means. In the church's envelope, you can access the email of the church, and in there we have all the details for you to make your offering online, bank transfer. Do that. But at times the person even wants to give the offering cash. I have the money and I want to give my voluntary offering. Yes, of course you can. The man of God will respect that, because that is sacred. But the one who is not of God, they will not respect. They will always find a way to take advantage for themselves. So be attentive in regards to this, to the bad pastors. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.